What's going on, everyone? So right now we're at the dump to get rid of the stuff from this past week. Got that big concrete block back there still. Got some pallets I did yesterday for a repeat client that came from a sign, so that's proving to work. And that's actually the second job I got from her. So far I think my signs I brought in $2,000 to $3,000, because I know there's some that they saw signs, but I can't think of them off the top of my head, so I'm just gonna round up. But today we're going to, I don't have any jobs lined up for today, it's Saturday, but we're going to go ahead and do a ghost route, which is basically me just driving around with the truck and trailer through traffic throughout the city, parking at some major traffic areas, and it's all just to gain a little bit of exposure to the public eye, basically. And I have gotten jobs off doing this, which is why I continue to do it. I've had people call and say, hey, I saw you parked at the Boca Mall the other day, which that was a part of my ghost route. I've never been there without doing that before. So I ended up getting a job for that, and that was, I don't know, $300 or $400. And I've had other people call me when I'm down in like downtown West Palm and say, hey, I just saw your truck and trailer. So it's all driving around with a giant billboard, basically. You know, that's the whole point of getting a wrap done on your truck, is so that you can drive around and advertise. So we're gonna do it today. I'm not gonna be as extensive as I normally am. I'm just gonna stay in my city and go east to west. I'm gonna drive through any neighborhoods that don't have gates or that are, you know, locked up, I guess gated. We'll drive through a couple of busy plazas, park at each one for 10-15 minutes each. I know there's a red blood bus somewhere near me, and I need to donate blood soon anyways, so I may just park my trailer next to that, which would probably be good advertising, because now you have a giant red bus and then you have me. But I have some ideas that I went ahead and did research and got going, and I'll probably take action on them pretty soon. I talked about them in the last video, so I will talk about that while I'm driving around. For now, we are going to dump, and I need to back up, so goodbye. Every time we stop during this ghost route, we're going to go over a portion of the plan, so stay tuned to hear the whole idea. I'm looking at you. So, let me just start out by saying that I am getting tired. I don't know if I'm getting lazy, I'm getting tired, whatever the case, but I just don't want to do so much labor anymore. And it was actually an idea originally to do trailer rentals or dumpster rentals. I just never saw myself being in a position to have multiple of either, you know, type of equipment. And now that I kind of am, you know, it's kind of pushing that idea back to me again. So without going into detail as far as what it's called, because I don't want to have to open up that discussion in the comments, but I do have a medical condition that makes my infrastructure prone to certain medical conditions, like later down the road. Like, I'm prone to osteoporosis. I have the same chance of getting breast cancer as a woman. You know, I'm prone to vascular diseases. Like, I've had varicose vein surgery on my right leg when I was 21. I had it done on my left leg when I was 23. My right leg again when I was 26. I'm 28 now, and I'm prone to have it again on my right leg. And this would probably be the last time until like I'm in my 40s, because you can only get rid of so many veins. And you know, I'm prone to diabetes even though I'm drinking coffee. So I have been told in the past that, because I used to do competitive weightlifting before I did moving, I have been told in the past to like try to limit my amount of labor I do, because it can kind of just speed up everything around it, especially if I'm ever like overworking my body. So not trying to use it as an excuse, but just putting it out there, because that is also a contributing factor as to why I feel kind of crappy sometimes. My energy and my mood is affected by the condition. So with that being said, I also like the idea of being able to do more self-service, to where it's like you're making other people work for you without having to employ them, which to me almost feels a little bit like a passive income kind of situation. I invest in the equipment, and then other people pay me to use that equipment. And the only labor I would be doing is going to dump it. And if I can get it consistent enough, I can hire someone part-time just to go pick up the trailers and dump it and bring it back to me. Who knows? Let's not get carried away though. But I was originally planning on getting a 12-foot trailer, another one just like this, by the end of this year anyways. And I was going to use it for when I had big jobs. I could swap out trailers, or maybe it's a weekend and this trailer's full. Instead of going to get another U-Haul for $50 to $100, I can just swap out the trailer. I can use one for storage. I can use it for metal runs, donation runs, whatever the case. So this isn't just like a spontaneous, like, ooh, let me go buy another trailer. It's more of like I was already planning on doing this. Now I just may speed up this process because I have an idea backing it up now. And I've kind of priced it out. They're pretty much all the same pricing around my county. They may fluctuate by like $100, $150 depending on the location, because most places are able to give you a discount sometimes. And unless I want to drive to Tampa, which is like 4.5 hours away from me, I could save a few $100. But then I look at gas and wear and tear on the truck, and like, is that really worth it? Because once there's a trailer attached to the truck, like, my gas mileage cuts in half. I mean, it'll be empty, of course, but it's still, it's still pulling weight. So, I went ahead and I did all the pricing for the trailer. I have everything broken down in detail. I have an idea for the structure of it. I have my design and paint idea all written out. And then I have all my pricing, my rules, my restrictions, surcharges. I have everything planned out. I know where I'm going to be targeting for my audience. And I know how I'll be orchestrating stuff on top of the junk removal. So when we stop at the next place, we'll go over the trailer portion, which is going to be pricing. It'll talk about the structure of building it, the pricing breakdown, all that stuff. So I will see you at our next stop. Welcome to stop number 2. We are right in front of a Keep Smart storage parked on the little side road. So my trailer and truck is kind of hooked like this, so it kind of looks nice when you drive by. I'm also right next to the same neighborhood we just drove through with the clip. There's a marketing strategist, and if I can remember his name, I'll put it like in the text in the video. But he talked about when it comes to promoting businesses, to try to do whatever you can to get your name out there, and not in a way like, you're networking with people all the time, but more of a just getting your name in different places that the public eye sees, in hopes that they'll see it again. So for example, you drive around your truck, you drive by, someone sees it, but they don't pay much attention to it. But then maybe they see your yard sign the next day and it has your logo on it. And then maybe 2 weeks from now they see your Google ad, and then maybe they're scrolling through their Facebook and they see that there's a promotion for your business. And they're like, I've been seeing this business around a lot. And then that kind of is what helps drive people's curiosity to go check out your page. And then hopefully you get hired for something. So that's also what I try to do with these things. Like if I'm just driving around, like if people see my trailer, because you don't see a lot of white junk removal trailers or trucks in general. At least not in my area. Everything's colored. So I feel like it kind of helps stick out a little bit. And then, my signs have my business name on it. And I don't really run Google ads, but I do post quite frequently to all of my social media accounts. So probably things get spread around a little bit. I digress. So in the last clip, I talked about how a 6.5 by 12 foot trailer is $28.50 in price. Doesn't really change that much around me unless I go hours away, which at that point may not be worth it because it's only a couple $100 cheaper. It has a hold capacity of 2,300 pounds before I add the walls on. So my idea with it is to kind of like how you build the 2x4s in the stake pockets and then you would build walls around it. Same concept. But because I'm not going to be the only one using the trailer, I'm also going to be using it as a rental, so I'm going to have just random people just stuffing it however they feel fit. I plan on doing 4x4 posts, 5 feet tall, in all 4 corners. I'll do 2x10 boards, 12 feet long, 6 of them high, because each one's 10 inches, 60 inches, 5 feet, 5 each 5-foot walls, and then of course the front. And then I'll use boards on the inside as well for bracing, and I'll use zinc plated braces, corner plates, and mending plates just to kind of hold everything together along the top edge and to hold the 4x4s down to the floorboards as extra securement. And then I'm probably going to do plywood on the ground and kind of fit it just so it helps prevent anything from leaking out, and it helps with sliding furniture in a little bit better. So with all those together, I think it'll end up being a pretty secure overall trailer. Now, my idea I had was, the thing I don't like about using the wood is you can tell you painted on wood, right? You can see all the rivets and the grooves and stuff in the plywood pieces. I don't like that look. So my idea was, if I were to be able to sand down the entire trailer so it's a nice smooth finish on the wood, it would be similar to like furniture, right? And then use a sealant caulk to fill in the gaps along each board, inside and out. 1, to help prevent rotting over time, and 2, to help flush out the gaps so it can continue to be a flat piece. And with that being done, I can paint the whole thing white, and I think it'll be pretty similar to how my aluminum trailer is. And then I would just do stencils for the lettering and numbers, and that would be a semi-gloss royal blue to kind of help it pop out a little bit, because the paint's going to be a matte white. And then on the trailer, I'll show you designs. I'll probably throw them on later on in the clip or later on in the video, but I'll do like clutter reduction, junk removal along the top, and then phone number in the middle, website along the bottom border, and then Keep Smart's busy today. The left side would say like rent me, hourly, daily, affordable rates, whatever. Left side would say like self-service, you load and save, we haul, something like that. But I did all the pricing too on my local Home Depot. So to do a 6.5 by 12 foot trailer with everything from the wood down to the braces, down to the screws, down to the white paint and the caulk and everything, and this is rounded up for taxes, $584 to do the whole trailer. And then my other goal eventually, if the rentals work out, is to get a 5x8 to use for smaller jobs, and it'll be cheaper pricing, of course. But to do the same exact thing for that trailer would be $415. So I mean, if you figure price-wise, let's say the trailer ends up being $3,000, maybe $3,100 after registration and fees and taxes, plus a 584, let's call it $3,700 for the whole trailer to be done. Like, to get the aluminum wall siding done on the trailer was $2,764, and then my wrap was $1,600. So I feel like it would be a more like affordable option. And then if it works out, like, a $3,000 trailer, it's easy to do multiple small trailers versus going out and getting a dump trailer for $12,000, $15,000. that's it for the structure. The next one will probably be the pricing. So I will see you there. Welcome back to stop number 5. I didn't record the last 1 or 2 because it was raining pretty hard, and it still is. I'm parked outside of a Walmart right now next to Dunkin' Donuts that's by 2 main entrances, and I'm just kind of pulled up on the curb, so I'm getting plenty of traffic. So in this clip, I wanted to talk about just kind of like the general guidelines of how I want to do the dumpster rentals. Keep in mind, I've never done dumpster rentals before, or trailer rentals, or whatever you want to call it. So this is all new for me. This is just research I've done and then the plans I came up with. So maybe it's super simple and basic. And, oh, those are my notes. I was like, what the hell is that? So maybe it's just super basic, and maybe there's a lot of strategy to it, and I don't know. So we'll find out as we go. But, real quick. So my target audience is going to be homeowners and small offices. The reason I want to do small and not big corporations is the stuff they typically throw out is heavy, right? You have large file cabinets, usually full of junk paper. You have those annoyingly heavy piece of crap desks that fall apart when you move them, yet for some reason they still weigh 200 pounds each. You have boxes and boxes of papers and hardcover books and binders full of papers, and I've never done like an office job where like it was lightweight stuff. So I just don't want to have them like just stuff the trailer full because they don't give a crap. They're like a large office, like they're paying through a credit card, like they're just gonna stuff that thing as much as they can. That's been my experience, at least with these office jobs, is they're like, try to get as much as you can there, and I'm like, well, I'll work with you a little bit because you're doing multiple jobs with me, but I'm not gonna overstuff my trailer for you. So I've done a couple of jobs for small offices, whether it's a small business or someone that just like a doctor that just has like a single office. Like I've removed like the one desk, maybe 2 chairs, a little coffee table, and some miscellaneous stuff, and that works out perfectly. So my focus will be on that, or maybe like a small shop or something. And then homeowners. So I don't plan on going to apartment buildings. If they have, let's say, a townhouse where I could back up to their garage, like they have their own driveway, and their, their HOA or whatever is okay with me being there, then I'll drop it off, but it's not going to be an overnight thing. And I won't leave the trailer overnight at office buildings in an unattended lot. So if it's locked up, that's fine. If not, it's not going to happen. I'm also not going to do street parking. I can't tell you how many people I've heard about having issues with street parking, like when it comes to like dumpsters and trailers. You're not supposed to put dumpsters in the streets anyways. They either have to be on the yard or in the driveway. But I know people have left trailers out and they got booted from the city, even in a non-HOA neighborhood, which is interesting. But either way, I don't want to risk that. I don't want to risk someone hitting the trailer and then I'm at fault because it's Florida and they have no fault rules. And I also don't want it to be like easy access for someone to try to steal it. So it has to be in the driveway, or it has to be in front of an office, and like that's their lot. But that's my game plan going into it, at least. And then as far as equipment goes, I think it would be a nice gesture if I provide free use of a dolly and a hand truck. A hand truck at Home Depot for a decent quality one is $90. A dolly is $60, and I can even get an appliance dolly for $149. And I've used this one before, and it works well. And I was thinking the dolly and the hand truck I will give to them for free for job use only, just to kind of like help them out. But then I can rent out the appliance dolly for like $45 each or something. So over 3 uses, it will get paid for. And I think that's about the same price as Home Depot charges anyways. So it'll just be more convenient, coming from the same person who's going to pick it up for you and drop it off for you. So I think that'll just be like a nice little gesture. And then as far as restrictions and rules, no standing pieces up more than like 3 feet past the walls. I mean, they're going to be 5-foot walls, not the 4-foot like this. So you're looking at 8 feet, which is like your standard 3-seater large couch. So nothing standing up more than 3 feet. No heavy construction material like concrete, gravel, dirt, marble, granite, tile, stuff like that. Only like the lightweight debris I can take now, like scrap wood, drywall, aluminum, trash, stuff like that. And then, no pressurized containers, no gas, no oil, no, chemicals, paint, stuff like that. No abstos or, deceased animals. I had someone throw out a couple of like dead animals in a bag, and I was like, "Are you serious?" I threw it in their trash can. So all the same things as junk removal, basically, with a few exceptions. And a lot of it comes down to security and city issues. Something I'll mention this again when it comes to pricing, but I am going to charge for extra time. So I'm going to do a similar setup, and I'll talk about that in the next clip. But there will be an extra time charge. Wait if they go over my 2,000 pound limit. Service after hours, which I think I'm going to make 6 o'clock p.m. So they'll get charged like hourly if they have to keep it until 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. If I have to go back and move the trailer after I dropped it off, I'll do a set price, let's say like $85 or something. Restricted disposal, so say they threw out a bunch of tile even though I told them not to, I'll charge them on the spot, like before I take the trailer away. Which I'm sure it's going to happen. That'll probably end up being a profit window, actually. But I don't have a set price for that. I'll just kind of like play by ear when it comes to it. And then an overnight hold, so say like I got them there at 4 o'clock and they know they're going to be done tonight. Instead of just charging them a bunch of hours for like extra time, like let's say they're like, can we just keep it to the morning? I'm like, sure, I'll come back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and pick it up, and I'll just charge them like a flat rate fee or something. So that's kind of it for the rules and restrictions. And then in the next clip we will talk about the pricing. Alright, welcome to the last stop. We are about done for the day. I am parked in front of a mall parking lot by the main entrance. I'm getting a lot of cars passing by me, which is a good spot. So this segment is going to be the pricing. Hopefully you stuck around because this is the juicy details. Before I do anything, I want to give a disclosure. A little bit of fun facts. I am in Florida, South Florida, Palm Beach County specifically. This is a very saturated area when it comes to junk removal. Our prices down here are not cheap compared to the rest of the country. I am going to give you the ballpark amount for a quarter truck and a full truck for the majority of companies around me. So when I go to list off the dumpster prices, you're not like, what? That's what I charge. Because I know some of you do in other states. And you have more expensive disposal fees, which is interesting. But around here, and I know this for a fact because I know a lot of the pricing for a lot of the companies around here, their quarter truck prices range from $250 on the low end to about $325. Some of them are up to $350 for a quarter truck. A full truck, on average, is about $600 to $800, like throughout the year. Guess who's the most expensive? 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Guess how much their full truck price is? $758. Their minimum pickup is $158. Their quarter truck load is like $327 or $347. My pricing is not that bad. So what I'm kind of thinking with the 6x12 trailer is a quarter truck will be about $150 at a 500-pound weight limit, and you have about 30 minutes to do it. A half a truck will be $250 at 1,000 pounds, 1 hour. 3/4 truck, $300, 1,500 pounds, hour and a half. Full truck, $350, 2,000 pounds, 2 hours. If it is construction based, I will add the same pricing, the same weight limit, the same poundage, but there's going to be a $32 additional charge because that is the difference it costs me to pay for construction debris to get disposed versus furniture. And then I'm kind of thinking if the rental works out, I'll try to get a 5x8 trailer as well and do the same concept. And I think I talked about the pricing for that in the first clip. So obviously it's a little bit less room. And I think I'll use that for like smaller jobs. Say someone just needs to like they're just working on their garage, or maybe they have smaller spacing. That's gonna be the big thing. Obviously, it's 4 feet less in length and a little bit shorter in the width. So maybe if I have a tighter spot, I'll recommend the 5x8 trailer, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper. It's 220 cubic feet versus the 390 for the 12 foot. So I basically did 55% of pricing. So a quarter truck would be $80, half a truck would be around 125, 3/4 would be around 155, and a full truck would be around 190. And I'm actually thinking if that would be better to use for construction, because it would limit the amount of space people can put stuff in there, which would probably help me weight wise, because I still want to implement the same weight limit when it comes to construction. So we'll play around with that and see what works. As far as surcharges go, of all the ones I've been seeing with different companies, there's about 9 of them that are about the same. I'm only going to do 7 of them because a couple of them just seemed like it was kind of like over the top. So for extra time, I'm thinking about $40 an hour, which means that if it gets down to like the 15-minute increments, I'll give a grace period depending on the person. Obviously, if they're older, I'll work with them on it. But for every 15-minute increments, it makes it easier just to charge like $10 versus like, $11.50 or something. For weight purposes, when they surpass the weight limit for each load, it'll be 10 cents a pound. Service after hours, I think I'll have 6 o'clock my cutoff time. So if they have to keep it until 7 or 8 o'clock, it'll be $55 an hour. And I'll probably make 9 o'clock like my cutoff time. I'm not gonna go out to pick up a trailer at 9:30 at night. If I have to go back and move the trailer in a different spot, I'll probably charge like a $75 fee, and that's just going to pay for gas and time to come out and redo all that. And then if there's restricted disposal, so of all the stuff I don't want them to dump, if they end up doing it anyways because they're jerks, I'll charge based on the spot, kind of depending on how much they do or what it is that they threw out. And then if they need to keep it like overnight, and I need to come pick it up in the morning, I'm kind of thinking like 105. Maybe I'll do like 150 tops, just because if it's $55 an hour and the cutoff time is 9 o'clock, obviously they could just keep it overnight and work on it throughout the night and make like their profit on it. So we'll have to see. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't look that far into it to realize what's happening. So we'll kind of figure it out as we go, of course, trial and error. But that's kind of what I'm thinking price-wise. And at the end of the day, I mean, it's a full truck would be like 60% of what I normally charge if I'm doing the job. So I think the 40% difference is worth the labor and the, being a little bit more passive when it comes to doing the work. So I'm looking forward to it. But we're going to head home now, and I will show you the graphic designs that I figured out on my laptop, and then that'll be it for this very long video. Hopefully somebody stay tuned for it. Alright, this is my DIY trailer illustration that I had to make using paint on the computer. I haven't done that in 15 years. But it's measured 12 by 5. I'll put somewhere that's a 6.5 foot width. This is actually measured to scale using the paint ruler. So everything is an increment of 2, and I just did 8 for the whole thing. So this is as accurate as it'll get as far as size goes. So you got the quarter, half, 3/4, full, and then I did one for construction debris too, just so people don't get confused when you say to only fill it halfway or 2/3 or whatnot. And then this is my idea for the side wall. Fairly simple, right to the point, main points of information. I may trim this up a little bit, but that's kind of what I have going for now. Alright, and that will conclude today's video. Thank you for sticking around. I know this is a very long video. Very few of you probably made it to the end. But yeah, that's my general idea and layout for doing the trailer rental. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm not thinking enough about it. Maybe I'm missing some major, key facts. So if you happen to do trailer or dumpster rental or have in the past, please do comment it down below and let me know what I'm doing right or wrong. I will accept all feedback positively, unless you're a jerk about it. um, Surprisingly, I did trim down all of these videos by a few minutes by retaking them because it was just becoming such a long video. So I do apologize about that. But if you stuck around, thank you. And, if you like the video, and I guess subscribe to see me run my business through trial and error and see where this takes us. Thank you. Bye.